back to News Geelong. Aquaculture, also known as aquafishing, and was on the agenda at the recent SEGRA Forum for 2011 held in Geelong, as Meryl Friend reports.
Everybody loves to throw a shrimp on the barbie, but seafood may be becoming one of the most expensive things for Australians in the future. We were able to talk with Dr. Mike Hall about the reasons why and how it could be rectified.
Yes, we have a very good seafood industry and a very stable and conserved marine stock in Australia, but that doesn't produce enough seafood to serve our domestic needs at the moment. So our wild catch at the moment is about 131,000 metric tons, but we consume nearly 400,000 metric tons per year. So there's a huge deficit there. Some of that's being made up with aquaculture product, about 65,000 tons, but that's not growing fast enough to keep up with even Australia's supply. And that's going to be getting worse as Australia's population grows. It's going to be, at the moment, 208,000 metric tons deficit, but that will be 300,000 in 10 years and over 450,000 in 20 years. The frightening thing is that this is against a backdrop of the rising middle classes of Asia, and they're rapidly becoming very wealthy, and they eat 3 times as much seafood on a per capita basis than Western cultures. So there'll be 3 billion people coming up in Asia that would be demanding seafood, so even some of our wild supply is more than likely going to be exported overseas because they'll get top dollar for that. So unless there's export controls, they'll be going overseas selling it, so it'll be even less on our market. We're becoming more dependent on imports, but Asia will be demanding hugely seafood supply. So we're putting at risk potentially that we may not be able to source that supply from world markets because the Asian will be tying up that supply, so we'll be left with a massive deficit. So the only choice in many ways is continue to run that risk of imports. 2, prices are going to go up so high that seafood will become a luxury items and consumption will go down, which is not a good thing for our health because there's benefits of seafood for cardiovascular function as brain function. And finally, the other option is to develop aquaculture at a more rapid pace than it's taking place in Australia because it's not keeping up with how much seafood demand there is, not only within Australia, but there's massive opportunities. Those markets overseas for supplying that seafood are enormous. It'll be bigger than the meat industry because the Asian populations, again, only increase their meat consumption on a ratio like 1-to-1 with increasing wealth, which is 3-to-1 for seafood. So the seafood demand in the future is massive.
From the SEGRA conference, Meryl Friend, News Geelong.
Bowen Health continues its innovative health awareness education program by working with local Geelong kindergartens with understanding what may happen if a child needs hospital care. Ian Nichols has more.
We're at the Geelong Hospital Children's Ward where we understand a lot of kids are very keen to trade kinder for a visit to the children's ward, and why wouldn't you? Kids are having a good time here, right behind this green door. If you've often wondered what's going on there, you'll find out very shortly because we're talking with Denise McGuan, who's a nurse plague coordinator.
They become familiar with the hospital environment and can play with some equipment in a safe way. It's very non-threatening and fun, so it's a good way to introduce kids to hospital early, get rid of some of the fear, and it's not so traumatic if they ever have to come in.
Now, these little kids today are from the town and country group, I understand.
Yes. Yeah. We get 5 groups in a day, and they just come through and have a bit of a look and a bit of a play and have a good time, really.
Well, that means you'd be very busy. I mean, just one group alone looks to be fairly full on here.
It's a very active 4 weeks that we run the program for. We see just over 2,000 children a year that come in just to visit and have a bit of play.
Well, it's very possible in the course of that year one of their little friends will have to unfortunately come to the Geelong Children's Ward. So, yeah.
Yeah, fact of life that children do get sick and sometimes need to come into hospital, so this makes it a bit more easy if they do have to come back in when they're unwell.
Yeah, they'll know there's some familiar surroundings if they've had a little visit earlier.
That's right, makes it much easier.
Well, it's a very good idea. How long is this just being inaugurated now, or has it been going for some time?
Running for a long time now. We used to just do random groups of children and it became too big. There was too many kinders that wanted to come, so we blocked off a month and we just do it over the month. we have to
Well,
come in.
it sounds like they are actually having a good time here.
That's the aim.
Well, it certainly makes it a lot easier if they're unfortunately here at a later time in life.
Yes, much easier. And it's easier if they have to visit people in hospital too. They can see what happens without being scared of what's going on.
At the Geelong Hospital Children's Ward, this is Ian Nichols for News Geelong.
Thank you, Ian. The State Emergency Service is after additional voluntary good men and women following its busiest year on record, as Meryl Friend reports.
National SES Week starts on the 7th of November and runs until the 12th. And it's also Wear Orange Wednesday on November the 9th. A fantastic week to celebrate all the wonderful volunteers that help for the emergency services. And we were able to speak with Scott Clark.
National SES Week is between the 7th and the 13th of November. As you said, it's a national campaign, so right around Australia there's 27,000 volunteers in the SES right around Australia. There's 5,500 of those here in Victoria. Here in Geelong region we certainly have had a busy period. We've had over 1,200 requests for assistance in the last year, 900 of those basically in the storm department, and over 170 serious road crash rescues.
And what kind of activities are planned for the SES Week?
Well, SES in Melbourne are having a Wear Orange Wednesday on the 9th of November, so if people dress up in their best orange outfit, upload their photo onto the Vic SES Facebook page, and they go into the draw to win great prizes including iPads.
And what people are likely to see on the 12th of October, we've got a special open day in Geelong.
Yeah, 12th of November, we have a open day in the Geelong region. So we have all the Geelong region assets down there for people to come and have a look at. So if they're not familiar with what the SES do, they can come along, see all the trucks and all our equipment that we use to help the community in need. We have Paddy Platypus, our mascot, who we're there to entertain the kids. So there's plenty to do for the kids. We have road rescue demonstrations, a lot of information on flood and storm safe, as well as road safety information.
And what was it that made you want to be a volunteer, Scott?
I really wanted to help out the community and give something back in their time of need. So it really gives me a good satisfaction to help the community when they do require assistance.
So if people want to find out more, where can they go?
They can jump on the website of ses.vic.gov.au, and there's all links to how to become a volunteer with the SES, and also all information on flood and storm safe and a range of other information on there. So jump on there and have a look.
Now, not only are you a great guy to have around in an emergency, but also we've got a big busload of children from Leopold Primary School. What activities have you got planned today?
That's right. The Leopold Primary School kids have come along, the grade 4s. There's about 100 of them, so this is going to be really exciting. They're doing a lot of flood safety in their schools, and it's really good to get them out here right next to the Barn River and show them exactly what water can do and the fact that it is extremely dangerous, and especially the flood waters. A lot of the kids aren't aware of the dangers of playing in flood waters, and it really is dangerous to make sure they keep out of that and remain safe at all times.
From the Barwon River, Meryl Friend, News Geelong.
Thank you, Meryl. This is News Geelong as we go to a break and return with sport and weather after this.